Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 351 podcast. And today we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship versus working a 9 to 5. So, I guess we can first start by talking about what each of us are doing right now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Starting from
I can start. So I manage my parents' restaurant, and I do basically almost everything from managing reservations, making orders, and all of the rest.
Okay. Me, I work in a scale up from the Netherlands, and I work in automation, like I said in the first video, if you guys watched it. And what I do is just develop stuff. So there's a process that needs automating, and instead of someone doing it repetitively, we build automations, or we call them robots, to automate the process so it's more efficient and it works 24/7. So that's what I do. And on the side, I'm a Wantrepreneurship.
What is that?
It's a person who wants to be an entrepreneur. A Wantrepreneurship. Okay,
Interesting.
Flash.
As for me, I'm currently working a 9 to 5 as a software engineer at Farfetch. I wasn't laid off, thankfully.
Okay, so I'm working also in my parents' business. They have a jewelry store where they sell, but only for wholesale. Only wholesale, so like they only sell to retail clients. And basically, I also do everything from the online, social media. I don't do it, I manage it, let's say. And dealing with clients, dealing with employees, and basically everything.
Wait, how do you deal with employees?
So this is the thing that I'm working on right now because I find it really hard because I'm a very I hate confrontations, and I don't really like to, I know I really have to tell them off when they, for example, are talking amongst each other or working too slow or things like that, but it's really hard for me to say because I also feel a bit off by telling them off because I'm not the boss. I'm the boss's daughter,
Yeah.
and they've been there working for much longer than I have. So I feel a bit out of place.
But technically, you are the boss, and you should be confrontational.
Yeah, I know, but it's really hard, especially because I'm very
Nice.
I like to be the nice boss, like, you know, for everyone also, because for me, I really like a good, how'd you say ambient?
A good
Environment.
working
Yeah, I like a
environment,
good
yeah.
working environment. So I'm scared that if I tell one of them off, they'll like not want to talk to me, or they get, you know, like employees,
Yeah,
I
we
don't
get it.
know.
I think
But I've been through that, and I feel like if we're too nice, we might be a
Yeah.
push. Like we might
Yeah.
get pushed
Yeah.
over.
No,
We
for
get
sure.
And they'll
walked all over.
Yeah.
and then they'll just think, oh, you're so easygoing, I can do what I want.
Yeah,
And that's
no.
when you have to teach them a lesson and put them in their place and let them who runs this.
Go Queen! Wait, how do you deal with your employees?
I was the same like Denise before because I was really like scared and I wanted to be more chill. And I was also one of the employees, you know, just like
Yeah.
hanging around and whatnot before. But then after when I had to assume my responsibilities, my parents also gave me a lecture about how I have to be more
strict.
strict and just more like in their position.
Yeah,
rather
my
than
parents
just-
always tell me off. Like when I tell them stuff that's happening, my parents are like, "Why didn't you say it in the moment? Like you have to say it in the moment."
Yeah.
And like the first time is gonna be hard, but then they'll get used to it, and you're also gonna get used to it. And but I'm still working on it, like slowly, because I like there was one time that I saw them talking, and then bro, I was so like I was shaking. I was so nervous. Like, what are you doing?
Damn.
I was like,
What are you
hey! I was
What
like,
are you
hey!
Wait,
And
but
then-
yeah, continue. When
Yeah.
you said what are you doing?
no, I didn't say. I was like, hey, don't. And then they're like, sorry. And then they stopped, and then they went back to do their work. And then what I really liked was I was really, really nervous at the time. And then after a bit, like a few minutes after, she actually came to me and she apologized, like, I'm sorry, I know I did wrong, it won't happen again. And yeah, I felt a bit like, whoa, and then, yeah.
But the first step is always really hard. Like
Yeah,
the first
that's
time you
right.
confront them, but then after, I think it's easier once you've done it.
But you guys
Yeah.
aren't passive aggressive, right? Oh, what are you guys talking about? Hey, it's so interesting.
No.
Continue talking.
No,
I don't
not like
think
that.
so.
I feel like that's worse.
That is worse.
Yeah,
that
okay,
is
yeah.
worse. But we have, at least me and Vash, we work at a 9 to 5, and it's something different that we struggle with. I think. What do you struggle with in terms of connecting with employees or your bosses? How do you deal with someone above? Because they're looking from a perspective down, but how do we look?
I mean, I haven't really had any trouble with my superiors before, so
Good employee.
yeah, I actually don't really know that, how it's like. But I mean, at least my manager, when he does get serious, it's like he strikes a balance. When there's no need to be serious, he's like really friendly and stuff.
Yeah.
But if someone does something wrong or they could have done something better, he usually pulls them to the side. Or nowadays it's remote work, so he tells them in private. And that's what he told me because he actually didn't want to get into leadership. He wanted to keep on being an engineer at first, but then he was offered that possibility and he took it. And yeah, he actually told me quite a lot about how it's really difficult to manage people. It's one of the hardest parts of his job.
hard.
But I feel like the balance is the most important because you can't be too strict, but then you can't be too
Yeah.
laid back, or else it's just gonna go.
It's
wrong.
like when you have to say something, you have to
Yeah.
say it straight away.
yeah.
Learning.
What about you then? Have you?
Have you been called off?
Yeah, I have.
Really?
Like my
Right.
first week or my first couple of weeks, the team from Portugal was still getting up to speed to how the Dutch culture is and how do they work. And I think the second week I was called off and the manager, he was getting a bit frustrated. He was like, "Oh, you need to step it up. You need to start doing stuff." I was like, "Bro, I'm already doing so much stuff." But I guess to their standards, I was still behind. So I doubled down, and now it's okay. Now we've adapted the team as well. And yeah, I just got told off once. And then he also started to understand the difference in culture. So our company is a scale up. And they actually came to Lisbon to visit us. And we did like a culture lecture. No, not cultural lecture, but a seminar on cultural differences between how the Portuguese people work and how the Dutch work. And so that really helped, and we got way better at communicating. Because I think in terms of dealing with colleagues, it's all about how you communicate. And if you aren't really familiar with the context of that person, you can't really have a good communication. Because if a Dutch person is more used to being strict and direct, and we're more fluffy in terms of our talk, we need to understand the cultural differences because if you're very direct to someone who's more
Fluffy.
it's not fluffy, it's called high context, low context. Low context people, which are mainly Dutch people, they're very direct. They don't provide context, they just say. And Portuguese are more higher context, so they give context to the situation. Oh, I've seen that you haven't been doing a lot in this criteria, so I think we should change. But the Dutch people are more, you're doing this wrong, you need to do better. So with the seminar and understanding the cultural differences, we got way better at communicating, and then less stress and less anxiety and more efficient in terms of how we communicate.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between Portuguese working culture and Dutch working culture?
It's the
Like the main difference.
low context, high context people. So in Portuguese, and in general, I can't speak for everything, but I think statistically, Portuguese people are more high context communicators. So when they say something, they provide a bit of context. They aren't really that direct and say you're doing this wrong. They shift in a way to say, oh, you could do better on this.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And then Dutch people, they're very direct. When they say something is wrong, they say it's wrong. Because I guess they're very low context. They don't provide, they just say, oh, you can't be doing this like this. You need to be like this. And we
But
as
very straightforward.
very straightforward. And we as high context people, we get a bit put off. We're like, why is he
Yeah.
being so strict? But then it's just about understanding the cultural differences.
But is there one that you agree more with? Like, more
Yeah, I actually think the Dutch working culture is better because you save time. It's more direct. It's efficient communication.
Yeah.
Because I think during the seminar we got presented with 2 emails. One of them was so much text. Like you take 2 minutes to read the whole thing just for can you send this
Yeah.
email to this person?
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is low context, is just I need you to send this email to this person about this. It's way more straightforward. The person understands, and there's a call to action. So I think we should sort of adapt more to low context. But of course, there's pros and cons for each thing.
I definitely felt that of having to work in a higher context way. Like people aren't that direct at my workplace, and we have to kind of circumvent it first, and then say it in a not too direct way. Like, oh, this is what you did wrong. We could have done it like this, stuff like that. Yeah, very interesting.
Do the girls provide context? Or
I mean,
not really?
I think I'm pretty direct. I don't want to provide any context. I just want to get straight to the point.
In the sense of like telling people what to do, like, I want you to do this, I just say it. But in the context of maybe saying what they did wrong, I would give more explanation.
Yeah.
Because I think it also helps, but maybe it's because I work with all my employees are Portuguese, and I feel like it also helps them to say like, you did this wrong because you did it like this and this and that, and you can do it better by doing like this and this and that. And because you kind of help them navigate, and I think that's also important.
We're talking about communication here, but you two are doing sort of the entrepreneurial journey where you make your hours. So what are some things that you like about managing people or working for your parents?
We make our hours.
We make our hours, aka we work 24/7. So I think one of the best things about managing is you get to take the lead. So you make the final decision, kind of semi-final decision. You have more, how do you say, not freedom, you have more
Or ownership.
Flexibility.
not flexibility, you have more, it's not guidance, you have more.
What?
If it's important enough, you'll remember.
Yeah.
But you say you make your hours, you work 24/7.
I make my hours, but then it's like, it's a 24/7 thing, our job. Because you're never at peace, 9 to 5, you just clock in and you clock out. When it's your own business, you have to think about every single thing. I'm going to bed, I'm already thinking about the next day.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about what happened today.
Do you have this
thing on your
because it's like
conscience.
we both work with our parents.
Yeah,
And then
especially because of that.
Yeah, so when you're home, you only talk about business.
Yes,
as well.
and
So
you
it's
talk
like
about
it's
that.
like at work, at home, like in the car, dinner, like lunch,
every
always.
That sounds pretty tiring, actually.
It's
and
a
it
bit,
is tiring. That's
it
like
is.
the cons of managing your own business.
Yeah.
Because it's important to disconnect and be able to rest properly after work.
Like even when we went to Milan.
We're talking about.
Yeah, no, even when we went to Milan, like we talk about it, but it's like people are always texting you, calling you.
Yeah.
Like same with me. Okay, not as much because of the reservations that you do, but employees asking you about this and that.
I guess that's the positive thing about the 9 to 5. It's that we actually can disconnect, and after work we don't have to worry about that. And I remember you telling me about the shift between university and 9 to 5. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, I told him that I actually liked working a 9 to 5 a lot more than studying at uni, because in uni there was always stuff to do. There was always stuff you could study for, always exams to prepare for, dissertations to write. So after working a 9 to 5, after I started working a 9 to 5, I felt a lot more relaxed actually, because I just clocked out and then I didn't have to think about work at all. And I rarely had to work overtime.
And weekends are actually weekends.
Yeah, weekends are actually weekends. In
Yeah.
uni, you always have stuff to do.
I think there's this law in Portugal that you can't contact your employees after
Oh.
working hours, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
new.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Is it?
remember.
It was like a few years ago.
A few years ago.
And there's another one that it's like there has to be a 12-hour like break in between shifts.
12-hour break.
Yeah, because like when I worked in Massimo Dutti, and basically I only work on weekends, and I worked until midnight shift, so I couldn't get in before 12. So if I finish at midnight, you can't work before 12. It has to be
What?
after. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be like the 12-hour break.
12-hour break.
Yeah,
So if you finish at midnight, you can start working before 12 noon the next day.
yeah.
Oh.
So if you want to work
okay.
at 10, you can't.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
There's
But-
that rule.
Does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to,
To have that.
I actually wanted to add something when you were saying, like what you were saying before, because I had a really different experience. I also worked a 9 to 5 before working with my parents, and I had a really different experience. But maybe it also comes from the person. But at that time, so I was working in the lab after my course, the dental
prosthetics.
prosthetics. And but my plan was I'm gonna work for a few years and then open my own lab. So I was very, very focused, and I wanted to do max I could, learn the fastest I could to eventually open one as fast as I could, because working for someone else is not for me. So I would work so much. I would go home. I would dream about teeth, like literally dream with teeth, but when you're working a 9 to 5 and you work more, you don't get. At least where I worked, you didn't get more. You didn't receive more, so it didn't really make sense to me, and it was also very hard. So I switched.
I
But yeah.
think your case is like it's very
Different.
extreme, yeah. Because to me, it seemed like you were kind of being exploited because you stayed
No.
until.
But I wanted to,
Oh,
like
okay.
for my own learn. Like I wanted to learn more. I
Oh.
wanted to do more.
Yeah, because you used to stay until really late. Right?
Yeah.
After everyone left.
Yeah.
But what was the driver that made you like quit and say like this is not the
Because
thing that I want to do?
I thought it was gonna be easier and faster for me to become an entrepreneur. But the more I saw, the harder it was.
Yeah.
And like if I wanted to realistically open a lab, first it's a lot of investment. Second, like 2 years was not enough. I was thinking 2 years and I'm out. No. So, and I don't know, I feel like our Chinese side is also more like
Hustle.
more money, hustle,
Mm.
Yeah.
So I wasn't seeing that in the area I was in, so that's why I quit.
I think I'm at that stage right now.
Mm.
I'm working in a sort of 9 to 5. I used to also have that goal of somehow then after a few years getting experience of starting my own automation company, but I also felt the thing of it's going to take longer than I think it will.
Yeah.
And then after I had that thought, I stopped doing as extra hours as I would. And that's why now I'm a entrepreneur. Yeah.
But talking about entrepreneur, any side hustles that you've been doing?
Cryptocurrencies! Yeah, I'm very into crypto, and I'm quitting in May. I already gave my notice, so for my coworkers who are watching, you guys know. And yeah, I'm going to do full-time crypto until we go to Canada. But for the time being, I'm spending all my time in crypto.
But you're gonna look
researching.
for a job when you go to Canada.
If I don't make it in crypto, yeah, I have to.
Okay.
And most likely I'm going to apply for the highest paying job, which is what I'm doing right now, automation. But if the crypto thing is sort of working, I could do part-time bubble tea or something, you know, make a few coffees, have social interactions with people, and just, hi, how was your day, good morning.
I can't see you do
You can't see me with
I can't see you do
No.
what's
that.
that called?
Also.
What's the
Apron.
No, not bubble
apron?
tea.
No,
Not bubble tea, but like a coffee shop, you know, make a coffee.
You!
What do you mean you?
Maybe-
No.
I can learn.
Maybe Korean barbecue. You can see him like 烤肉.
No, it's so hard to see him in that industry.
Then where do you see me at?
Washing toilets.
Yo!
No, I see you like in the office. I can't see you really
Yeah,
talk
I
to
can't see you
people
either.
like that.
What? You don't?
Like hospitality, him.
Let me be
Oh.
honest.
Honestly, I can't
I don't
see
see him doing anything with his hands other than this.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's like you know.
I just have one thing to say.
What?
What the hell?
Like Vash, I can imagine because his parents own a restaurant, so it's like
My
easier.
parents
I
also
can't
had a
imagine him
restaurant.
working at a bubble tea.
I worked at a
You don't
restaurant.
think
You
I-
have like the Korean vibe,
Yeah,
the bubble tea
Yeah.
kid vibe.
Mm.
And then with this deep voice, what would you like for
My voice isn't that
for
deep.
your order?
It's not
You
that-
would be like the crush of.
Yeah.
Oh, of every girl that
Of
went
every
in.
girl.
Like,
Let's go to the
let's add a
with
WeChat.
the guy with the deep voice.
Ah, that's so funny.
What about bartender, cocktail?
Cocktail, yeah.
Picture him
No,
making
no,
drinks.
anything with that intensity. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah,
It's okay, the crypto thing's gonna work.
but hopefully the crypto thing booms, and then you don't need to look for a job.
Yeah, I can do it full time.
I could see like a black Uber driver with a suit and tie.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
What the hell?
Yeah, Uber black.
Hi, how was your day? Where are you going tonight? Oh yeah. Is the temperature okay?
I can picture doing that as well.
Really?
Right?
Uber black, yeah.
Uber black.
Ooh,
yeah.
bro, you drive
Yeah,
well?
with the
With a suit.
suit. Yeah.
Giving him new ideas.
Yeah.
to
That's
explore.
that's the journey of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's doing what it takes
Mm.
and being humble to take down these jobs that maybe a person in your position wouldn't be proud of, but you're a hustler. Double
Yup.
down and
That's a real hustler.
Yeah.
Yeah. okay. What about you girls? Have you ever thought about doing a 9 to 5?
Wait, should we speak about our first job first? Like the first ever job we've ever done?
Ooh, yeah.
If you can remember.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, the
First paid job.
First
Yeah,
paid job.
Ignore my question. Go.
We can do that after.
My first job. Wait.
Very first job.
Whoever. Okay, I remember my first job.
Okay, you can go first then.
It was a Chinese restaurant. Wait, Hong Kong Cantonese restaurant in Manchester. I
Bro,
worked
please
for a month.
uniform.
I have a picture.
Yeah,
Can we
can you
insert-
insert it here?
Yeah. Do you have?
I don't have it.
I have.
Insert it in the video.
Please
Put it in the video.
So basically, the context, because we're high context people, my parents wanted me to get a job just to get my hands on something and start doing things with my hands. My parents love to say, you need to be able to work with your hands. And I was like, okay. And then my first year of uni, I was looking for a job, and the easiest way to find a job was an Asian restaurant. So I went to the first one I went to. I was like, oh, are you guys hiring? Yes, you can start next week. I was like, what?
So fun.
Don't you need anything? No, just fill out this form. It was like your name, your email, your phone number, something like that. Then next week I started. First day, I don't really recall, but first day was sort of teaching me the ropes
Mhm.
and how everything worked. And then since you're the lowest employee, the beginner, you do all the very boring, very tedious tasks. So at the end of the day, you and the also newest person who had to go upstairs, take all the cloths, the napkin, the cloths, the dirty ones upstairs, and then put everything in one place. It was like so heavy, and then put them in bags so to put them to get clean, and then clean the floors.
How much were you paid per hour?
£6.
Hey, you
something
were
like that.
exploited. It was £6 at that time, no?
Yeah, I think it was
Minimum
around
wage?
minimum wage and no tax. Right?
Fun got paid £5 an hour. Or
What?
£4 where he got exploited in Coventry.
Who?
Fun.
Oh.
This is a really funny story.
£4. Okay, but then after doing a few days of that, I started doing bartending, table
Serving tables.
serving tables, yeah.
The
And
waiter.
yeah, waiter. And then, hey, this is a really sad story. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically how it works in the Asian restaurant is you get the starters, and then when the starters are done, you tell the kitchen to start making the mains. And then I think I got it mixed up somehow, and I I told the kitchen to start making the mains when they were still on the starters.
Mm.
And then they made the mains. They were waiting, and then the boss just comes. Where's this going? Where's this going? And then he went. He saw the table number. He went to see, and the guys were still on starters, and he started shouting, "Who told the kitchen? Who told the kitchen?"
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
Me. And then he started screaming at me, and then
Was he Chinese Asian?
he was Cantonese.
Oh.
Then he started swearing in Cantonese. He held the mates. He was like
Yo,
bashing them on the thing.
Oh.
I was like, yo. Okay, I didn't say yo.
Yeah.
I was very, like,
You didn't know what to do. You
yeah, I
were
didn't know what to
frozen.
do.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, why are you doing this? Keep shouting at me.
But that's so exaggerated
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah, but
it's not that deep.
But then, I broke down. I was like, what the hell? And I was like forcing myself not to cry because at that moment, the guy was raging at me and everyone was looking.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I was
my
like,
God. Yeah, he was screaming.
he was screaming. He literally took the main and he like threw it into the thing, and then they had to make it again.
Yeah.
What the?
And then I just remember that time. I was like, holy.
Did you quit
And then-
right after?
No.
Oh, you
And then-
continued.
I stayed a few more weeks, and then I got the paycheck, and it was like this plastic bag with cash, and then like just a paper with handwritten notes of how much I earned. It's like, oh, here's your salary. And then it was the first time I got on salary. Then I worked a few more weeks, and then I think I worked 1 month and a half,
Mm.
and then
But
it
then
was Christmas.
Yeah,
Came
came
back,
back.
and then when I went back, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this.
And then did you get a job after that? Or no
No.
more?
And then
Got traumatized.
yeah, not traumatized, but I think it's you always have to find the lesson in these moments where it's not really fortunate. Although it was my fault, it was a bit exaggerated, but
A
it's
bit
still,
too exaggerated.
it's
Yeah.
still a lesson to be learned. So it's
Yeah.
it's a good story, but not the best moment. But yeah, that was my first job, and then just after uni, I started working there. So
I think my first job that I can remember was probably at Brandy Melville. I think. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure when I was 16. Because I really wanted to work in Brandy Melville because it was a thing back
Yeah,
then. Like,
it was such
being
a
the Brandy Melville girl.
It's
you
not
know.
that. I think it was also
Oh,
It still is. It still is
it was
now.
really exciting. Like knowing that like every day you worked, you picked your
Outfit from
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
That seemed really fun.
It was a really chill job, but it was just really boring. So,
Mm.
but I had a good experience.
what you have to do in the day to day?
Just fold clothes. I did,
Customer service.
no, like
Just
say
taking
hi-
care of customers.
taking care of customers, doing the till, and that's it.
Okay, my English is bad. What's till?
The 开始,
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
The register.
the register, yeah.
Mm.
But then the thing with Brandy Melville is, which is really controversial, is when they hire, they look at your looks, they ask you a bunch of things, like this is pretty known out there, and it can be a bit
Mm.
Discriminatory.
Thanks.
What do they ask?
What's your ethnicity?
No, they just see, they evaluate you,
Oh.
and they want like thin girls, they don't want plus size, they don't want girls who look not the best.
But
let's say.
at the time,
No,
Has
not
it
at the
changed?
time. It hasn't
I think
changed.
it hasn't
It has
changed.
not
No.
changed. If you go to any Brandy Melville, you'll still see the same
That-
type
that-
of
the
girl. But
thing-
now there's like, they include like
Yeah.
other races
Yeah.
for the first time.
But the thing is also their clothes are only one size.
oh,
So I think it also plays a bit with that.
yeah, but
it
that
does.
makes sense. If it's all one,
Yeah,
But
but
the
the-
one size
the-
concept for now, it's very
yeah, sensitive.
controversial,
It's a bit
sensitive.
sensitive.
But I still love Brandy Melville though.
But did you
Yeah.
have any?
Oh, I
moments?
had a bad moment. I think it was with the. I can't remember because it was like 6 years ago. But I made a YouTube video about that. But I think they underpaid me or something like that.
Mm.
Not too sure. But something along
I
those
think
lines.
that's pretty common.
But
The
that's
first job to get underpaid.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't understand the laws and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not a big deal. So
Mhm.
So no bad moments except for.
no bad moments.
Yeah, my first job was an internship for a book publishing company, and
What?
yeah,
I haven't heard about
Yeah,
this.
me neither.
Book publishing. What was the company?
it's called Pact. It's not really well known. It's a UK based company, and yeah, it was just a book publishing company.
But what did you have to do?
So I worked with the data team, I did some email engagement, data analysis. It was just stuff related with data and analytics. And then for the second part of the program, I worked with it was another team that was on the business to business side, and I had to develop a website for that. It was just so businesses could buy their products directly. But it was nice. It was my first job. It was pretty exciting, but there was nothing bad happened. No.
No bad moment.
Was it a paid internship?
Yeah. Okay.
Was it straight after college?
It was in my second year of university, summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were in vacation at that time, and I just had to work.
Really?
Some days.
In Algar.
Yeah.
What was your first job, Vinny?
I don't really know what.
I just remembered your first job. It's
don't.
probably modeling when you're like 14, 15,
No,
16.
yeah. And I was like thinking about it, and before I used to help out at my mom's shop as well, so I would get paid. So I was like thinking maybe that's my first paid job, but it was
That's
not
the same for
consistent.
me.
Yeah, but it was not consistent. It was like once or twice. But then I think it was probably modeling. So my very first modeling job, I was 16, I think, and I thought it was so ridiculous the amount I was paid for the job that I did. So basically, it was publishing like a commercial video for Trivago, like the
Trips.
the traveling agency, and basically I was just the main figurine. I was not even the main character, whatever. And we were just on a train going back and forth, and all I had to do was pretend I was talking to the people beside me and smile. That was all.
How much did you get paid?
Wait. And the most ridiculous thing was there was two mains, and they were like the main shot. And then there was three main figurines. We were just the ones right behind them, so we would appear more. And then there were a bunch of other figurines. And basically, the other figurines were paid 70 euros that day. It was maybe 6 to 8 hours. And they were doing the exact same thing as I was. And I was paid 1,000.
Wow, that's...
For one day?
For one day.
Dang.
1,000. I was just the one that appeared maybe a bit more. And I feel like that commercial was not even out. Because I went searching for it. And it didn't go out. But I still got my...
Do you know how much
1,000.
the main
No,
ones were
because
paid?
they were always on the shot. So I was not able to talk to them as much. But I would talk to the...
You would talk to the figurines and be like, oh, how much you got paid?
Our job was to
Yeah.
pretend that we were talking and smiling, you
Yeah.
know? And yeah.
Did you say how much you were getting paid to them? And they were like, what?
No, I didn't say.
No.
I just said, I'm being paid so much more. But I didn't say how much. But yeah, they told me and I was like, what? That's so
It's
shocking.
a big difference.
It's a really big difference.
I get paid six an hour. You get paid 1,000 for 6 hours.
But those jobs are highly paid.
Yeah.
Even if you're just a
Yeah.
Figurine.
figurine.
I
Damn,
don't
so
know if I can be saying this.
we've all had pretty diverse jobs.
Okay, but then after, I feel like my first real job was when I worked at Massimo Dutti. Because being a model is a job. It is a job,
A side job.
but it's
It's like
I feel
a
like
freelance thing.
yeah, it's not that
It's
serious
inconsistent.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
You
no
know,
routine.
Yeah. So my first real job I think is working at Massimo Dutti.
How was that?
It was really it was actually messing with because I was studying at the time as well, but I had a lot of free time. I only had classes 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, so I had a lot of free time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a part-time job so I can also learn a bit, learn new things and also gain a bit of money so I can spend on clothes. So I worked for 2 months only, and it was really messing with me because also the schedule that I did was mainly at night and weekends. So my friends would go out and I'll be working.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
And working till midnight. And yeah, it really messed with me a bit. But it was okay.
I know a lot of people who've worked for indie techs and they've all had a really bad experience.
Really?
With
What's
the
indie
pay.
techs?
Zara,
The groups.
Massimo Dutti, and
With the pay, I thought the pay was really good for me because
It was good?
I don't know, because in Massing Duty you have
Commission.
They have
commission.
higher pay.
And you have
than mine.
commission as well.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very fair.
And you worked on weekends.
Yeah, yeah. Weekends
Weekends.
they pay more,
Yeah.
night shift they pay more.
Mm.
So I had a lot of like both plus, yeah.
I was thinking that you were saying, oh, I earn money in Massing Duty so I can spend it. But maybe it's a strategy for
them.
not a strategy, but they imagine Massing Duty pays their employees and then the employees spend it on Massing Duty.
That's what most employees who work for these indie tech companies
So
do.
it's such a good farming thing because it's such a good farming thing. You pay them, but they still spend the money on you because
No,
you get
but-
the discount. and
Yeah,
all.
but it also depends more or less. Like I don't know if I can say this.
Then-
Okay, whatever. I get your point, but most people that are working, they also need to live. I lived with my parents. The extra money
Yeah.
that was coming in was solely for me to use.
Mhm.
But like people that really work, like they have to pay rent, food.
They won't
you know.
waste it there.
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying they give the discount to make them spend money on
yeah.
them back, so they're basically paying the employees less.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, but for sure.
And I'm pretty sure at least 80% of these employees do spend
Spend.
their money on indie techs.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the discount is probably
How much is
above
the
20 or
discount?
something.
Can you disclose?
I think I can.
You can
You
say
can.
we'll search it up if we can disclose, and then
Yeah.
if we
You
can't,
can.
you can.
You can. Of course you can.
So I'm not sure the discount.
We're gonna get cancelled.
I don't know about the discount, but I don't think it's that high. It's like for normal employees, let's say it's like maybe 20%.
Only.
I don't think it's that high.
It's not
My
much.
friend said there was like 30%.
Okay, maybe. I'm not
I
sure.
don't wanna name
It was
names.
so long ago. I'm not sure. But then like the managers, the gerentes, they're managers, right?
Yeah.
We call them managers. They have like 2K to spend per year.
Oh.
Oh, per year.
Yeah.
What about you?
I only worked for 2 months. I had nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to set like there's specific contracts.
Yeah.
If it's like 6 months, I think you have.
Yeah, my company, you have to be working for 3 months to then start using the discount.
That's pretty good. 3 months. That's
3 months is okay. You've both done then 9 to 5s and entrepreneurship. What would you say are the biggest differences or the things that you've liked about the 9 to 5?
That I liked about the 9 to
Yeah.
5 more than
More than doing what you're doing now.
it was super laid back. It was like
You're super laid back.
it was like
Yeah.
I was playing, you know.
Damn, wow. Taking shots at us. We're playing. Okay.
You know, it's like I just do what I have to, and then goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just like depends on the like that Massing Duty job was literally like I just have to do this and whatever, you know. There's
Yeah.
nothing you could do. When you're working at those stores, there's nothing more really
Yeah.
more that you could do.
But do you
It's
look
just
at the
like-
clock when you work in Massing Duty? Or where you work
Oh,
9 to
yeah.
5? You looked. Did
Of
you
course I look.
No, but I looked when it was not busy, you know.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
Because for me, the shift I'm doing, because now I'm doing crypto and I still have the 9 to 5. The main difference I see in these two things is looking at the clock. It's when I'm in my 9 to 5, I don't say constantly, but
You have the
sometimes
tendency to look.
I look at the time. Oh, how long till I dip out of here? How long till lunch? How long until I bye? So, but then in crypto, I don't look at the clock. So
But
I could go for hours and then be like, oh, it's already 2 a.m.
yeah.
and I need to go to sleep. So I think that's the main difference I saw with working 9 to 5 and probably entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship, I think you're actually doing something you're into and you have a massive interest on.
Yeah.
So you're more caring towards that and you're willing to invest more and just not look at the clock. Because when we work 9 to 5, it's literally a 9 to 5.
But it depends. If it's like a bit, imagine you work remote,
Mhm.
so it's easier to look at the clock. But if you worked at a restaurant and you were busy, you were not going to look at the clock.
True.
And then there's like this saying, it's like if you work for someone else, you'll never really put in as much effort as the boss puts in.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like you don't gain anything from it. Only if you gain something from it, you'll do more for it. If you're just a worker there, like why put in so much more effort
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
nothing?
All,
'Cause-
all you get is like an incremental raise in your salary.
Yeah.
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 There's
Yeah.
this
So
there's a story of a boss who got a Ferrari, and then he was really excited, and then he went to his employees and he was like, "Oh guys, this year you need to work really hard, give your best, try hard, so I can buy my second one."
Can't believe he
Or
said
is that
that.
real or
No, it's a
Not
fake
real.
story,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's a story to say us working 9 to 5s, we're contributing to someone else's dream. We're paying
Exactly.
for someone else's dream.
Yeah,
And salary is the drug they give you to give up on your dreams.
yeah.
I
That's the
still don't
one.
think it goes like that. But
I think
How
it
does
is.
it not go like that?
I mean, the meaning is still the same.
the meaning is
I
still
don't
the
think
same.
it matters.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
I think a lot of people are now disillusioned with 9 to 5s because wage growth has stagnated and cost of living has risen too much. So yeah, salary growth hasn't kept up with cost of living growth.
I feel like 9 to 5 is also glamorized a lot, especially people who are in consulting and just people who are in university. They're glamorizing this corporate life when it really isn't what it seems. Like people who make TikToks and come with me to my 9 to 5, make it look like it's something magical and everyone wants to hop on that bus. When the reality, I don't think that's the case now.
I mean, you don't know. There's some people that like that. Some people are more ambitious, and there's some people that only like want to live comfortably, and and they're okay with that. So it's like, and we need everyone.
People in everything.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
But I understand the fact that I finished my university. I'm in a consulting job. It looks really cool. I
Like
get
it's been
that.
glamorized for the last 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
It wasn't like this before. Like now it's even more.
but I do get why it is glamorized. You work at the office. You
Yeah,
dress
of course,
formal.
yeah.
The people who are there, they all have
Educated.
degrees. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the entrepreneurship. Hey, cara.
yeah,
The entrepreneurial. Wait, I'm gonna beep it out. The entrepreneurial path, sometimes it's not as glamorized because you have sometimes to deal with people who are less educated that didn't go to university and
Yeah.
maybe deal with clients. I think consulting jobs, the dealing with clients, they're all very educated and have good backgrounds. So I think that's why it's glamorized. And entrepreneurship is more of a hustle side, and you sometimes have to
And
deal
tell
with.
me an entrepreneur. Okay,
But-
okay. I don't want to be canceled.
Entrepreneurship.
Tell me an entrepreneur that does TikToks every day. There's no time.
There are a lot.
There is.
I'm
There is.
joking. Don't
Oh.
cancel me, please.
But entrepreneurship is like really glamorized as well, though.
But that is
Also-
super glamorized
Peop-
too.
Yeah, it's so glamorized
Entrepreneurship
nowadays.
is also
I feel like there's a place for everyone, We should glamorize every job because we need every job to be done by someone.
the fact that entrepreneurship and 9 to 5 are glamorizing is because people glamorize a lot of things. Everything gets
No, it's
glamorized
because
now.
like they're living their life, They want to glamorize their life. It's like romanticizing your life,
Yeah.
in everything that you do because it makes life easier and happier to
True.
live in.
Yeah, find the beauty in what you do.
Yes.
So that's
But then
true.
I just feel like the negative thing about this is like people with normal jobs, let's say when they're scrolling, they might feel just how do I
No, I understand. It's the
like
they feel like that life is perfect.
Yeah.
And they just want to become that, but they don't know all the hardships and the things under the iceberg, right?
Okay, but there's that in everything, and in social media you
Yeah.
only show the best parts.
True.
Like but I feel like entrepreneurs they show both sides. Normally when they vlog, they show every side.
not
That's
all,
That's
Not
what's,
all,
not all, but most.
But
But I think
most.
that's what's starting to trend now is
Ah.
documenting
And
Instead
being
of-
real.
instead of creating. I think
Yeah.
Gary Vee has been saying this since I met him. I haven't met him, but since I started listening to
Here we go again, Gary Vee.
wait. Sorry. Mistake. But from as long as I've been seeing his content, he's always preaching documenting instead of creating. Because documenting is way more raw. You can have much more content, and it doesn't shine a light on how perfect something is when in actual fact it isn't. So, and now I think it's starting to trend. More
Yeah.
businesses, more people are starting to really document their journey instead of just saying all the glamorous things
Yeah.
there is. So I think
Yeah,
we're
that's
somewhat
very
going
important too.
to
Yeah.
a better path of, or being more realistic of what a role really entails by documenting the things you do.
Mhm.
But you guys really
But
went hard on me.
but for real though, like one of my favorite YouTubers now is Eva Jules, because she's she just documents her life. Like when she fails, she documents that too. You know, no one's perfect. She's always restarting her routine because like you started and then it kind of goes off and then you start again. But that's real, and I feel like I really like seeing her because I can really relate, and it also helps me to go back when I slack.
Oh, now that you're talking about celebrities, I saw a story from the podcaster of The Diary of the CEO, Stephen
Stephen
Bartlett.
Bartlett.
Yeah, and he was saying that he's been going to the gym for 5 years, I think 4 to 5 times a week, and he thought that by that time he would have already stopped with the procrastination or the feeling of not wanting to go. But what he realized is you're gonna keep having that feeling, but then you're gonna develop something to overcome it. It's not that you're not gonna have that feeling. It's that you're gonna develop something to overcome it. And he said the way he does it is when he starts thinking about, oh, I'm so tired, I don't really want to go to the gym. He reminds himself of, this is not a debate. You've already signed the contract before, so it's signed, you're doing it. There's no debate. Don't let your mind talk you out of something that you already agreed on. So I think, at least myself, when I think of routines or breaking habits, I think that I won't ever have this unmotivated feeling, but it's not about not having it.
Yeah.
It's about building something to overcome it.
What's his name? Something Goggins.
David Goggins.
Yeah, like he talks about that. He's like, everyone, when they're doing something, like he's like, what is motivation? Like, why do people need that? Because he for him, it's like, you know, there's like the stick with the carrot.
Yeah.
The analogy that he does is like, for me, there's only the stick. There's no carrot because I have to do it. Like, it's not for debate. Yeah, like this is a thing that I have to do, and I don't need motivation because the process that is just like what you think is I just have to do, and then you do it.
David Goggins is so good.
Speaks a lot about discipline over motivation, because motivation is not something that you can have every day, but discipline is something you can build, and it beats motivation any day,
Yes.
basically.
Yep.
Then let's apply this to 9 to 5 or entrepreneurship, because I feel like in an entrepreneurial journey, I think I get way more disciplined because I'm sort of doing this for myself.
No, and you see, you can actually see the
results.
The results.
But isn't that more motivation then? With entrepreneurship, you get more motivated
Yeah.
because
True.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
the results are directly proportional to your
True.
efforts.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So how do we become more disciplined?
I feel like you're the most disciplined from us four, no?
No.
Oh, maybe Vashko. Yeah, Vashko more than Fleet.
I don't know actually.
But Fleet tends to show it more.
Depends.
His is more low key.
I think.
Are
it
you saying I'm a
depends.
show off?
Not saying you're a show off.
I think it depends.
Depends on the thing, because we value different things, so we're disciplined
in
in
different areas.
Everyone's disciplined.
Discipline in different areas. yeah.
Everyone is disciplined in the things they care about. And
But in terms of doing harder things, I feel like Fleet's more disciplined.
depends. It's subjective. What's
Yeah,
hard?
it's really subjective.
Anything could be hard. Studying could be hard. Reading could be hard. Working out could be hard. Yo,
Who's the less disciplined, me
You
or
finished
Sonia?
it's not about who's more. It's not about who's more. I think it's just we always have to. We all start in our own journey, so it's not really about comparing. We're all on different paths, and we have different things to be disciplined on.
One thing that I wanted to say that is very different in being an entrepreneur or having a 9-to-5 job, at least for me, because my parents' company is basically already
Set up.
Set up. So imagine I I want to go for like on holiday, or imagine I want to book a flight tomorrow. I can't. Imagine
You can or can't?
I can.
Ah, you can.
Yeah, imagine I don't know. I go out today and tomorrow I'll be a bit late. It's fine.
That's a really good point. I remember talking with Gawe about this. He
also told us.
Yeah, he was talking about how he didn't want to do 9 to 5s because it sort of limits him from the things that he wants to do.
Yeah.
So for example, from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, your day is blocked then.
Mhm.
But people go on lunches, they do activities in the afternoon. Sometimes we play paddle, and then if you're in the 9 to 5, you can only play on weekends or at nights during weekday. So that's a really good point about your freedom.
Mhm.
Because when you're an entrepreneur, you work more hours, but then you also set your hours. So you can be flexible about where you put the hours in. But in a 9 to 5, you're sort of limited in that
Like you have
time
to.
frame.
Yeah.
And then you can't do anything besides that
Mhm.
in that time. So I think freedom is a big thing.
Yeah.
But I think it goes both ways. It really depends what you're doing. You can be an entrepreneur and still have no time to do certain things because it's your business and you have to take care of X.
Yeah,
Y,
but
Z.
then it's your decision.
Yeah,
It's
your
like,
decision.
do I want to? Okay, I can either close my shop for a week, or I can work.
I mean, yeah, okay.
But
yeah,
if you
it's your
work for
decision.
someone else, it's like
you can't.
you can't. You know, you
Only
have
if
to
you
work.
ask for
Imagine
it.
you want to ask. Imagine I don't know. There's a wedding of your friend, and you
You
want
can't
to
just
go.
call
You can't
in
just call and
True.
be like, oh, I'm not gonna be there.
True that.
You know.
Yeah.
For example, and imagine you already used up your days, your
Yeah.
holidays. You know, like you can't ask for more, or maybe I don't know how it works, but it's like it's harder.
Yeah.
Also, like planning vacation with friends that also have 9 to 5s is really hard. You know, there's a lot of things that limit you.
Yeah, there's pros and cons for both 9
Mhm.
to 5 and entrepreneurship.
Okay, then I think that's a good
Wrap.
Yeah.
wrap. Should we
Woo!
give it to... Wait, it's not finished.
Yeah, we know. We're just
We know.
celebrating.
Oh, okay. Okay. Party pooper.
Let us romanticize our lives.
Party pooper. Who's the person who's going to...
Today's host.
It's you.
Let me choose one.
It's very good.
Okay, so would you rather lose your sense of hearing or your best friend?
What?
Bro!
I wrote that one.
What?
my best
I
friend.
knew. As soon as you smiled, as soon as you smirked, I was like,
But we have
it's
a lot
yours.
of best friends.
But what kind of loss
Your
is
best,
this?
best
Lose
friend.
as in like they don't exist anymore from today on, or lose as like
no
you're
more
not
as a
best
friend.
friends
No more
anymore.
communication, no nothing. No interaction ever again.
Damn, that's a hard
But you
question.
can't hear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, I already
I
have
can't
my
hear.
answer.
You guys shout too loud.
I'm sorry. I already have my answer.
We're all saying the same answer. Come on.
Yeah.
Who wants to lose hearing?
You can't explain.
Yeah,
but
let's
okay.
not explain.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start. I would rather lose my best friend. You don't even know who my best friend is.
I'd rather lose my best friend as well.
Damn, you guys are.
Yes, go
Okay,
say
you
lose
say,
your
you say,
hearing.
let me-
Lose my best friend.
Yeah, I need to listen to Justin Bieber. I can't lose my, I can't lose my hearing.
I thought you were gonna say, what's the guy who's always talking? Gary Vee.
Gary Vee.
Yeah, I can't. Jordan Peterson. I need my ears because Jordan Peterson doesn't know sign language. So
How do you
unless
know
I
he
get,
doesn't know sign language?
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he
why.
does.
I mean-
Okay,
oh
we
wait,
all
I
have the
can
same
explain.
answer
I can
then.
explain. So yeah, we have the same answer.
Wait.
Well, no, we have the same answer.
What if my best friend is my mom? I would rather lose my hearing.
Damn.
No, your best friend is another person.
Hey, that's
Yeah, not
another
family.
level.
Okay, yeah.
That would be.
Yeah, I would
but-
rather lose my hearing.
No, but I think that when
Yeah.
everyone thought of it, it was like their friend,
A
not
friend,
family.
not
friend,
family.
friend,
Yeah,
not
okay,
family.
okay.
Just a random best friend.
My best friend is
Random
my mom.
best
Okay, since
A random best friend. Come on. This
Okay,
is
I know.
so-
Okay.
then
If it's just a friend, like not my family.
Yeah.
okay, since we all had the same answer, let's discuss if it's a family member.
I think it
If it was like my mom,
I think it
or,
depends on the
if
family.
it was my mom or
member.
dad, I would rather lose my hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we're saying like best friend as in
everyone-
not a family.
but let's just
No.
say family, like one of
Mom
our
or dad.
parents.
Yeah.
Of
One of our
course, we
parents.
would all
Of
rather
course
be
we're gonna lose-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some-
Hopefully, Jordan Peterson
Summer
knows sign
question.
language. Okay. Wrap it up.
Okay, but yeah, guys, that was it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave some constructive feedback for us. Let us know how to improve, and yeah, that's it.
Make sure to
Subscribe.
And
like.
or
Comment.
dislike. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.